Good morning. Good morning. I think I'm on. So I'm going to continue with the book What is Meditation of Vimala Thakar. And we're at page 27. Only in meditation there is a consciousness where the psychology of peace and friendship is possible. On the level of thought, on the level of ideologies and philosophies, there can be conviction. There can be adjustments through law and order. There can be a sense of justice. But it is only in the state of meditation that love can flower, that compassion can flower. You become an expression of cosmic life. As a drop of water is an expression of the whole ocean. They have the same quality. New chapter. When is a technique necessary? Let us turn to the third point, techniques. When is a technique necessary? When you want to move, then a technique or a method or a procedure is necessary. When you want to return from the state of motion into non-motion, is a technique or a method necessary? Techniques and methods have been considered necessary because the word meditation is misinterpreted and misunderstood to mean concentration. So the word meditation is misunderstood to mean concentration. Here in the East, there is a science and an art of concentration. It is very important, a significant part of the science of yoga. So if you want to learn asanas, yoga asanas, if you want to learn Tai Chi, there is a method, a technique. It is related to motion, and one has to learn how to move. If we want to have physical training, there must be techniques and methods. If you want to sing, there's also a method. There is a word, dhyanam, which means meditation. There's a word dharana, which means the art of concentration. And in India, they used to teach children how to concentrate. They would put a light before the children and say, "Look at that." A small light in which you would put clarified butter and a strip of cotton. In my childhood also, it was taught in practically each household. By the time the child becomes 5, parents used to initiate the child into concentration. Look at it. You stare at it. You hold your gaze there. That would steady the sight, strengthen the sight. Then they would teach some mantra. Mantra is an organization of letters, or it can be an organization of words. Indians had studied the metaphysics of sound. Metaphysics of sound is a part of the Vedas and the Upanishads. How to manipulate it, the sound energy, how to use it, how is it related to colors, how does it affect the breath, what it does to your whole physical organism. They had studied these aspects in detail. Sound is called nad. The whole Indian classical music is based on the study of sound metaphysics. It is no use telling you about the books. They are in Indian languages and Sanskrit mostly. Which books your friend Vimala has studied in her childhood. So, as the children were initiated into concentration through the eyes, they had also to listen to a certain mantra and chant it. Recite it yourself and listen to it. That was mantra yoga, nad yoga in dharana, concentration. You focus your energies, gather all your energies together. Focus it on a light or a candle flame. Focus it on a word which they would give. Those who were following the path of dedication, devotion, they would put a statue, the idol of Rama, Krishna, or some goddess or a teacher and say, look into the eyes of that and concentrate there. This science of concentration helps the development of the mind because the flame of perception becomes steady. The audition becomes steady through the mantra. And when you expose yourself to certain sounds for the duration of half an hour, that sound energy affects your whole being, your nervous system. It can soothe, it can pacify, it can relax the chemistry of the body. So concentration has many techniques, ancient ones, modern ones, through perception, through audition. They will teach concentration through manipulation of the sex energy, which is Tantra Yoga, through sound energy, which is Mantra Yoga, through manipulation of the body postures, which is Hatha Yoga, and so on. I studied concentration as a child. It sharpens your memory. It sharpens receptivity. You read something once and you can remember it. For the development of mental faculties, concentration is a very useful science and art. I've been speaking about it in India and other countries of the world, that this state of concentration, the state of dharana, should be introduced in every school at the primary education level, so that the young minds are developed properly. Many hidden powers and faculties of the mind get developed and can express themselves through the state of concentration. And concentration requires methods, techniques, whether you turn to Buddhism, to Vipassana or Anapana process methods, or you turn to Zen Buddhist system. There are many systems among the Hindus and also among the Muslims. In Georgia, in the Kansikar Mountains, people study meditation. They call it meditation, but what they practice is concentration. Concentration can be practiced. Meditation cannot be practiced. Meditation is an inner transformation. Meditation is the byproduct of being in the dimension of silence. It is a transformation that occurs. But concentration, which is a psychophysical activity, can be practiced. So, as regards to meditation, techniques, practices, formulae are not possible. It is an education and transformation that takes place as the culmination of education. You can concentrate and say, I concentrate for 2 hours a day. This power has developed due to concentration. You cannot say, I will meditate for 2 hours a day or for 2 days, or I will meditate for 2 months. You can say, I will sit in silence. A person who grows into the dimension of meditation lives in inner emptiness all the 24 hours of the day. As you live at the thought level, at the level of ideas, ideologies, and your likes and dislikes, a person living in the dimension of meditation lives in inner emptiness. And when looking is necessary, the eyes will look. The sight looks out of the emptiness, out of the inner relaxation. There is no tension whatsoever. There is no exhaustion. Such a person is ever fresh. Cerebrally speaking, psychologically speaking, is ever fresh. The body may get tired, the body may get old, wrinkled, but inwardly it is always green. The greenness of life, the innocence, the humility, the tenderness of life. They are there till the last breath. If the person lives in the dimension of meditation, yeah, they are always there till the last breath. Innocence, humility, the tenderness of life. If the person lives in the dimension of meditation. When one looks, it takes place out of the emptiness, out of silence. Listening takes place out of the inner silence and emptiness. Do we ever listen out of silence? We hear the words of other people. Our reactions come up before the person has even completed what he wants to share with us. Our reaction, our value judgment, our decision, conclusion has already taken place. We're always impatient. We have no space within even to listen, to assimilate. So in the study of meditation, there is inner relaxation, inner peace, inner equipoise. The quality of perception goes through a change. Meditation is an inner mutation. The human race has traveled from simple to complex consciousness, from non-subjective to subjective consciousness. The development of the ego is not a curse. The development of the I, the contrivance of the mechanism, the contrivance of that mechanism, that concept of the I and the me has helped us to develop literature, philosophy, music. How could we live together if the words you and me were not used? How would we interact if there were no languages? So this development of the I consciousness, its sophistication, its refinement, was necessary and is necessary to keep civilization and culture alive. But we must know that it is a conditioned structure. We must know it is a structure which is necessary to be used, and that we must grow into another dimension also. So the intelligence controls the intellect, and the intellectual understanding controls the behavior of the sense organs. It is a harmony. Everything that the intellect does is done in the light of intelligence, awareness. Then the thoughts cannot create any obstinacy, cannot become aggressive. The impulses of the body do not make you behave under the pressure of impulses, illogical, irrational impulses. So the biological organism is under the supervision and observation of the thought structure, and the thought structure is always functioning in the light and in the awareness of intelligence. In this way, the human being changes. I think it is only after such a transformation that a new human race will be able to emerge. No fear, no acquisitiveness, no desire for ownership and possession, no desire to dominate over others, to gratify our own ego, that all that will be gone. A new human race with a new human culture and a new dynamics, a new foundation for human relationship will be there. The last few years of the 20th century are crucial for the human race. Meditation is the essence of spirituality. You do not have to do anything but to educate your physical organism and psychological structure to move into non action gracefully, voluntarily, and see what happens in that state of non action. Into non action we move, and once there, in that state of non action or silence or stillness, then things happen by themselves. It is cosmic intelligence that takes over the charge of our being. I'm going to read that again. Meditation is the essence of spirituality. You do not have to do anything but to educate your physical organism and psychological structure to move into non action gracefully, voluntarily, and see what happens in that state of non action. Into non action we move, and once there, in that state of non action, or silence, or stillness, then things happen by themselves. It is the cosmic intelligence that takes over the charge of our being. So, effort, to some extent, relaxation after that. Action, to some extent, happening after that. It becomes a dance of effort and effortlessness, action and relaxation, relationship and solitude, speech and silence. They get blended into one whole. A new, balanced human being who has no imbalances and therefore no impurities, but who has a grandeur of inner equipoise and a majesty of outer sensual balance comes into life. So I will read that piece also again. So, effort to some extent, relaxation after that, action to some extent, happening after that. It becomes a dance of effort and effortlessness, action and relaxation, relationship and solitude, speech and silence. They get blended into one whole, a new, balanced human being who has no imbalances and therefore no impurities, but who has a grandeur of inner equipoise and a majesty of outer sensual balance comes into our life. So I think this is some beautiful food for thought for today. I hope you have a wonderful day, and I will continue tomorrow morning. This was the end of the chapter also. Let me see what comes next. Ah, the second part of the book on meditation. She continues with a new talk, given at Dalhousie in India, 1987. So have a great day. Bye for now.